All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below in the description so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO Gym. And the QBO Gym is a place where we have numerous exercises that simulate real life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Every single month, we come out with new exercises for you to practice your skills and complete them. And we break it down for you into 4 different sections. Today, we're going to be working in the December strength training section where we really focus on the QBO advanced features. At the top here is an animated video to give you an idea of what you're going to be doing for Craig this month. He is our fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive quiz. It relates to the video up above. Below that are all of the exercises within this section. And then at the bottom, there is this optional section where after you have completed all of the exercises in this section, we have these sample posts that you can use on LinkedIn to share with everybody what you have learned so far. So we're going to dive right into our exercise for today, which is where we're going to practice creating a custom field for an invoice. Go ahead and click on that, and when you do, the exercise will appear. I already have mine loaded here on the right-hand side so that we can see this exercise as well as what we're going to be doing on the screen at the same time. So let's see what we are going to be doing today. The scenario is that now that Craig is using QBO Advanced, you can incorporate some things you've been wanting to do to make things easier. First, it will be so much easier to use a drop-down list to select the sales rep for a transaction. So let's see how to do that. We are going to be working in the advanced sample company. Now, if you've done our exercises in the past, you know that most of the time we are in the regular sample company, which can be accessed through your QBOA account. And by the way, if you don't know how to get your own free QBOA account, go ahead and click on the link below in the description. For the advanced sample company, we need to use a separate link. So that is this one right here. You can go ahead and click on that one. When you do, you're going to get this little security verification. You want to go ahead and click on the box next to I'm not a robot because you are not a robot. To go ahead and click continue. And when you do, you will see the advanced sample company appear for you. Now, if you've used the sample company in the past, this may look very similar. You may think it's the exact same thing, but it's not. There are definitely some other features and things that you can do in this sample company because it is the advanced sample company. One note here that make sure you are logged out of your own QBO or QBOA account. Otherwise, when you try to open this one, it is just going to go to your own personal one. So make sure you are completely logged out before you click on that link, and then go ahead and click on that link and get to this page. Now, note that in a real world scenario, you could add a custom field under accountant settings. This is not working in the sample company, so you will have to add the sales rep custom field within the invoice settings. So let's see how to do that. First thing we need to do is get to an invoice. So click on the plus new button and then select invoice. The plus new button is right here on the left hand side. Go ahead and click on that. Under customers, you'll see invoice. Click on that. Now, when that new invoice transaction appears for you, we want to click on this gear icon on the right hand side. Go ahead and do that. And this little pop out will appear for you. We want to add a custom field. So click on this plus add custom field. Now in QBO Advanced, you will receive some suggestions for custom fields. One of these is for a sales rep. So you can just choose that one rather than just trying to type in the name field. If you had to search for something or you wanted to look or you wanted to create a new one, I'm sorry, not search, but create a new one, you would just go ahead and type in there. There are some suggestions right here. We want sales rep. Go ahead and click on that. Now in QBO Advanced, you have the option to specify a type of data for your custom field. By selecting the sales rep suggestion, it assumes that you want a drop down, but you can change this if you want. Here is that drop down item list right there. So let's go ahead and add each of the sales reps to this list. In the first drop down item list, we're going to go ahead and type Sarah, which is this one right here. Go ahead and type Sarah there. And then in the second drop-down list item field, we need to type in John. So go ahead and click into that field and type John. Now, in a real life scenario, you may want to associate this with a particular customer. In the sample company, you will need to associate this with each sale. In other words, a transaction. So go ahead and click on the circle next to transaction. Here's where you would have that ability to associate it with a particular customer. We're going to do it with the transaction. Now you can choose whether to show the custom field on sales forms or to make it visible to Craig's customers. We're going to leave everything as is. You can see that it's showing this is where that field would show up, and this is showing where it would print on these particular forms. So we're going to leave everything as is as mentioned. So go ahead and click on save. Click on the green save button here. And you'll now notice that there is this field that we just created, that custom field, that sales rep. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how we would create an invoice and what this would look like. Note that these steps have been done in order. If you do them out of order in the sample company, the sales rep may not show up on the invoice. So let's make sure that we're not clicking into this before we do all these other things first. We're going to set up this invoice for Amy's Bird Sanctuary, so we need to click on her from the customer field. That is this one right here. Go ahead and click that down arrow to expand it and click on Amy's Bird Sanctuary. All of her information is going to appear for you, including this little pop-up drawer. We'll address that in one moment. In the sales rep field, we're going to select Sarah. Go ahead and click on that down arrow and you will see the two that we added, Sarah and John, are there. We're going to have it for Sarah. Now, as I mentioned, Amy already has some billable charges, so we're going to go ahead and add those from the drawer, which is this little pop-up that we had here. Go ahead and click on the Add button. And when you do, the information that was over in that pop-up drawer is now showing up on the invoice. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how the sales rep custom field is going to show up on the invoice. First, we want to click on Save, which is the black button here. And now let's see how it looks on the invoice. We need to click on Print or Preview 2 times. That is this button right here on the black bar. Click on that one and then click it once again when it pops up for you. Now you will notice here in the invoice, you will get a little preview of it. I am going to zoom in so that you get a little bit more sense of what this looks like. So here is the invoice itself, and you will see here that there is this sales rep field that is populating for us, and that is where it shows on the invoice itself. So we're going to close out of this preview by simply clicking on close. You will probably not be able to see it because of my pop-up screen or my video screen. There is a close button on the bottom left corner. Go ahead and click on that. And now we're simply going to close out of this invoice by clicking on Save and Close. So click on the down arrow here and then select Save and Close. In a real life scenario, if you wanted to send the invoice, you would click Save and Send. The sample company, whether the advanced or the regular sample company, don't allow you to actually send it out. So we usually just use the Save and Close feature. But that's it. That is how you would create a custom field through the invoice. And if you have any questions or want to know more about the QBO Gym, just go ahead and click on the link below in the description. We're moving through the strength training section with our next exercise where we practice creating a workflow. And I will see you in the next video.